I want to start with a question. How many of you feel like you're entirely capable but constantly running on a low power mode? You're still managing to function, you still show up, you're still producing, but you're tired, you're slower, you're overheated. You're basically one push away from completely shutting down. Something feels off. That was me. Let me tell you what it costs to keep performing while you continue to let your system run on empty. For years, I looked successful on paper. I was disciplined, I was educated, I showed up, I delivered, I got things handled. But internally, I was a high performance system running on low power mode. For a really long time, I looked like I had my shit together. I was dependable, I was driven, I was capable. I was the one that everybody leaned on. But behind the scenes, I was completely disconnected from my body. Oh, I was still working, just slower and completely run down. I was quietly burning out. I didn't feel like there was any room left for me. I told myself that I was too busy, that I had too much to do. I had too many responsibilities. I was too needed. Everyone else's needs were non-negotiable, and my health was optional. Not because I didn't care, but because I didn't think that there was room for me in the midst of my life. Around 36, I knew that something was going on with me. I wasn't sure exactly what it was. I thought, maybe it could be my hormones, or maybe I had started perimenopause or whatever. What I did know was that I was exhausted all the fucking time. I basically was forcing myself just to do things to get through the day. And I was putting on weight, even though I had never had issues with my weight before. Well, I told myself I'll get it all together, I'll figure it all out once everything settles back down. But that day never happened. Shocker. Food became somewhat of a comfort for me. Not because I lacked discipline. I honestly didn't really eat like crap. But it became my emotional charging cable. I got to a point where I figured if I'm gonna feel like crap anyway, I might as well do whatever the hell I want. All in all, I was fueling my emotional tank, but not my physical one. The result? I felt like shit. No, I felt worse than shit. I just kept feeling worse, and then the next week would come and I would feel even worse than that. The sucky part? I was now overweight too. I would cry almost every time I took a bath just so no one could see me. And I would bitch almost daily to my best friend. I woke up one day and decided I've got to figure out why I feel the way I do. The doctors? The doctors. They told me everything was fine. All my levels were normal. There's nothing wrong with you. You sure it's not in your head? It's all part of you getting older. Well, I called bullshit. I set out to figure out exactly what the fuck was going on, and nothing was going to deter me from trying to figure it out. I spent years with my nose in every book and article that I could find. I watched every YouTube video, listened to hundreds of podcasts until I decided, you know what? I have all of this base knowledge. Why not go ahead and do something with it? One day I decided to just become a doctor myself. So a few years and a PhD later, here I am. You see, I knew there had to be a way to help heal my body, heal my hormones, without driving myself crazy. Something that didn't feel like, another job, just to get through it. And I knew I needed to stop negotiating with my needs and start honoring them. And things finally began to change. If you're listening to this and thinking, I think this is me. I want you to know that you're not alone and you're not broken. You're just ready to stop making your health optional and start reconnecting with your body in a way that fits your life. Here's a myth that we have been sold time and time again. When performance drops, just work harder. But let me ask you something. If your laptop suddenly starts really slowing down or acting funny, do you overload it with work? Upload more videos, input more data? No, you start to run diagnostics. You clean it up. You start deleting files. You don't try to force it to do more. You don't demand more output. You plug it in and you clean it up. Yet with women, especially high-functioning women, we do the exact opposite. When our energy drops, when our weight stalls, when our focus fades, we start dumping in more rules. Well, here's the truth. Programs didn't fail me. Plans didn't fail me. I was trying to run incredible software on an underpowered system. Now listen, I didn't get it right the first time. I didn't get it right the first 20 times. Because like a friggin' idiot, every time something would kind of go left, I would just put in more effort. I would put in more work. I tried harder, thinking it would fix it. My weight stalled. I did more cardio. I spent more time in the gym. I restricted my calories to the point where I was barely eating anything. I mean, after all, I grew up at a time where the attitude was, if you want something, you work hard to get it. And if you haven't gotten it, work a little harder. Unfortunately, that doesn't work when it comes to our bodies. Not exactly. At the end of the day, trying to work that hard completely broke me down, wore me out, and made all of my symptoms that much worse. I was not undisciplined. I was undercharged, underfueled. My hormones were a fucked up mess. No biological system, nor a technological one, can perform without adequate power. This is where the conversation had to change. A depleted nervous system acts just like one of your devices in low power mode. It's gonna prioritize survival over performance, fight or flight, which means higher cortisol, weight loss resistance. You get where I'm going. Short-term relief over long-term goals, which leads to cyclical dieting. And again, messes with your cortisol, creates insulin resistance, creates weight loss resistance, and increased hormonal imbalances. So when people tell women just work harder, what they're doing is asking a system that is underpowered to produce and to do it at a very high, efficient, effective level. Virtually impossible. The issue is not one of motivation. It's capacity. But you are mentally and physically only able to do so much before you just stop working. Here's the idea I want to leave you with. Consistency is not a personality trait. It's a power supply issue. When women are fueled, regulated, and supported, they don't need force. They follow through naturally. And here's the biggest surprise. It does not have to be insanely complicated. Because trust me, if it was that complicated, I wouldn't be here talking to you, and I definitely wouldn't be doing it. Recharging the system is going to take about 5 steps. First, decide once. Constant renegotiation will drain you faster than anything else. Make up your mind and go. Second, act from identity, not outcomes. You don't recharge to hit a number. You recharge because the system matters. Third, design the environment. Stop trying to run heavy software in the background. If you don't know what I mean by that, declutter your brain. Make things simple. Create very easy systems that are easy to follow. Fourth, regulate before you restrict. A calm system performs better under load. So the calmer that you start off, that you set yourself up to be, the more you're able to take on, without your body completely freaking out. And lastly, choose accountability. Not mean, not pressure, just facts, diagnostics. Here's the quiet truth behind all of this. If nothing changes in the next 6 months, it won't be because you didn't know what to do. It'll be because you demanded performance from a system that needed power. Your future self is not asking you to work harder. She's asking you to stop running your life on low power mode. Let's change that. So here are some what ifs for you. What if the reason you haven't been able to be consistent isn't lack of discipline, but rather a nervous system that has been trying to do too much from your power reserves, this low power mode? For years, what if your body isn't resisting change, but rather protecting you from the burnout that you've been avoiding? What if you stopped trying to push through and instead learned how to recharge the system that supports everyone else? What if the version of you that you have been chasing doesn't need more effort, but more support? What if 6 months from now you looked back and realized that the moment everything changed was the day that you decided to not make your health optional? Here's what I know now that I wish I knew years ago. If nothing changes in the next 6 months to a year, it won't be because you didn't know what to do. It'll be because staying the same felt safer than becoming the woman that you were wanting to be. I chose the discomfort, and that choice changed my life. If this feels personal, good, it's supposed to. Leave me a comment and let me know how you related to this video. And if you're looking for a version of you that doesn't want to be optional anymore, and you want to work with me, comment the word enough below to begin next steps. Or if you want, just follow me on Instagram at BeLimitlessVicky. Until next time, thank you for being here. Thank you for joining the Be Limitless podcast. And remember, be unbreakable, be limitless. See ya.